I think it's time for a lot of guys today to start to be a little bit more self-efficient, especially when it comes to spending money. I think it's very important for us to have a concept of money management. One of the reasons why I say that is because a lot of people today, not to say that it's just only men, struggling to get to a point where as though we able to balance a work life and be able to pay bills and be efficient with our money. Like right now, I got a renovation going on. Something that I end up learning how to do by working with contractors. But the main thing is, I learned something. Even though with working, it still keeps me busy, keeps me active, and I'm able to teach my son these things. My son was able to see me gut a whole bathroom in my other apartment. He seen me gut a whole apartment at the age of 3. And from that, he ended up learning that. And now all he does is talk about renovations because he see me do other things like his bedroom, other rooms. Like we missing that today when it comes to men. Like being a self-efficient, just being able to understand how to get things done when it comes to maintenance on a car, or even just doing daily things of just like trying to change brakes, just doing simple things. Learning electricity. Everybody's not strong in being handy, but I think it's something that you can learn. I had no idea how to actually do certain things in life, like how to change the tire. Like I never changed the tire until I became maybe around maybe like 19. What was weird is no one ever taught me. So the things that look easy are not that easy because you're like, yo, that's too tough. It's too hard to do that. It's not, nothing is that hard to do. But what happens is if no one teaches you anything, you walk around here not knowing anything. That's probably why you see a lot of young dudes today walking around here not knowing how to do anything. Like right now, I'm making chicken breasts with the go of my rice I made. I'm almost done. Like this lasted me for almost 3 days, no, 4 days, almost 4 days. I froze it, and now this is my last day eating it. But it's a good meal. You got to know how to cook. If you don't know how to cook, what you do is look stuff up, look things up on YouTube. Be more self-efficient because I'm gonna tell you something. A meal that you could spend $20 on can last you 4 or 5 days, but you make the meal to your liking and make it good. But don't go crazy on seasonings, giving yourself high blood pressure and all these things. Start eating better. That's one of the things I had to start changing up. I was a workout fanatic and I stopped when I got into a relationship, and then I ended up getting married. Then I stopped going to the gym like I'm supposed to. Now I'm back in the gym. But the thing is, going through a separation. So at the end of the day, it better me to be able to get back to those old ways that I used to have, you know. And it makes you understand how to operate through life and be more self-efficient, because if I did not start off being self-efficient younger and I waited to my 30s, I would be probably in a spiral. Like I'll probably lose myself. And the reason for that, because I wouldn't understand how to operate through life. And I ended up having my own apartment. I ended up being on my own around maybe about, let's say about 19. 19 is when my mom bounced. Not bounced, but she ended up moving. So I had to go with her. And I begged her to stay and told her I'd be able to take on the bills at her house, or the house that she ended up leaving. Still her house. But she ended up leaving, going to a whole nother state. And what's crazy is that started me off right. But along with that, I started growing, starting to being able to understand how to pay bills, started to understand how to take on responsibilities. Even though I still made mistakes, I still was able to understand that, oh damn, I'm behind on this bill. Let me sit my butt in the house. Sometimes you're gonna have to sit down. That's one thing you start learning when you start paying bills young. You start learning that, if I go out, I'm gonna be behind. And if I'm behind, I'm not going to be able to pay this. So when I did it one time, it was a rude awakening, because I knew that when that electric bill came in, I'm like, damn, I ain't paid that electric bill in a minute. So when you call them up, you make an arrangement. But then you start to understand, like when you get clipped, the electric go out, you like, damn, the electric out. You spend 2 nights without electricity. You end up having a real wake-up call that, oh damn, I gotta pay this, yo. I can't be in the dark. Especially when you try to have a joint come over. You ain't having nobody come over when you in the dark. You one of the things about a man, you do not want to be caught broke. Not to say that when you young, it's detrimental. It hurts because you mentally not there yet. You're not strong enough to understand that, yo, priorities is priorities. Because most of the time, the people that's calling you broke are the ones that's actually broke. It's just that they live in a facade that make you think that you less of, and you're not less of. It's just that you don't understand how to cope with real life because you never been through anything. When you young, it's easy to make you go off your game plan. That's probably why when I started living life like that, I started having more than others. Because when you're that young and you living by yourself, you start really understanding that, yo, everybody not like you. You're the eyeball. It ain't many people out here living by themselves. It's not many people that can do a renovation. Like you see a hole right here in the wall. It's not an actual, well, it's a hole. It's a round hole. But what it was is I had a mini split that was going through this wall. Realized, that's why I'm glad I did the renovation myself. I realized that it made more sense to switch the mini split to go over towards the other side of the house because it made more sense. At first, it made more sense to me to go to this side, but this side has a hallway. And I had to buy more of a line set. Anyone knows that when you're doing anything with AC units, it has to travel outside. Well, my outside was going through a hallway and then through a brick wall. It made more sense to go towards this side of the house because it leads to outside. Made more sense. So along with that, this whole kitchen right here, that's on a whole nother thing right there. I'm not going to get all into that. But this kitchen look nothing like this. Nothing. I'm not going to show because I'm not done everything. I got a lot of junk in here, but I'm going to clean it up because, you know, anybody know when you live by yourself, you can move how you want to move. But at the end of the day, I'm not having that much company over. It's clean in here, but at the same time, I'm still a work in progress. And that's the thing about life. You understand how to balance everything according to you, but be clean, be sufficient, and be presentable. You have company over, especially as men. Be presentable. Don't have your crib looking all crazy. Don't have your crib smelling. Like, be presentable because that way you don't ever have to get your crib to that. Most people are not doing renovations. I'm sorry to tell you. Most people don't even have the bread for that. You know, and that's a long story short. I was doing that and end up hurting myself. Make a long story short, put me out of work for almost 4 months. Good thing I had a savings, but I went through that savings. But I still was able to do for myself. And a lot of people can't do for themselves. Some people going to fall on hard times. A lot of us falling on hard times. But the thing is, you have to be efficient on being able to put some money away. We live in an era now where people are sitting up there talking about, like people watch on YouTube, you'll see a lot of people talking about, yo, man, saving money ain't gonna get you to be ahead. You're gonna fall behind. Out here, you gotta take that money and invest it. I'm gonna tell you something. This is what's happening to a lot of people, following people, listening to stuff like that. Look, man, you ain't never in your life met anybody in real life that never had money put away. It sounds good. Even when I bought my duplex, it sounds good to listen to people like that. One thing you'll notice when you listen to people talk about, don't worry about money, don't worry about this and that, just make money, just make money. Listen, just make money and take it and invest it. And that way you can flip it. Everything sound good. But guess what? This right here cost me a lot of bread. And this duplex is built on a 4-story platform. Imagine me being married, and I gutted everything, no help. And we live in an era now where so everybody wants to feel comfortable. Everybody wants to feel safe. Everybody wants to feel secure. Well, guess what guess what that mindset ended up putting me? It put me in a bad financial predicament where as though they able to go out and spend their money. But then all of a sudden you see that shit just go out the window. You only know where their money went. It don't contribute to anything until I started adding structure. Whoa, You got to pay an electric bill. You got to pay the cable bill. It ain't nothing wrong with you paying with an electric bill and a cable bill. That shit can't just go to hair. It can't go to hair. About to go work out. I have a gym up in the crib too. So that's another thing. That's on the second floor. Got a full gym in my office. You make everything comfortable for you. But like I said, I don't want to jump off target. But they start doing stuff. This is what I went through. They just starting to waste money. It does nothing to the household. And as men, you're put in a position where as though people be telling you, yo, you got to make a woman feel this way. Guess what? That's a lie. It's a lie. As long as I've been out here, many dates I've been on, many girlfriends I had, many relationships I had, I have never ever went through a point in my time where I felt used. And the reason why is because you only can get used if you are a person that likes to be used. You start off a certain way. I'm going to tell you something. And this is from somebody, I don't want to say I had a couple of hours, but at the I'm going to say this. I never looked at myself as broke, but I never looked at myself, I never been rich. But I lived pretty good. I lived pretty comfortable. And I done had the nicest cars to the flyest cars. I'm going to tell you something, man. That it means nothing. It means nothing. When you start getting stuff, whereas though you able to go home and lay your head down and be like, this is mine. Mine in a sense, you never own anything. That's another story for another day. You'll never own anything. You think you own it. You don't. You got to pay taxes on it. As soon as you pay the house off, you're going to have taxes just out of hand. So don't think you're just going to own something and you be scot-free. You're always going to have a bill to pay out here. I don't care what nobody tell you. You're always going to have a bill. So just know that I don't want to lose. I'm sorry. I'm all over the place sometimes because I'm passionate about what I'm saying. But you want to make sure you take care of yourself properly. And I don't want to. I don't want to. On my channel, I'm not about bashing. I'm about helping the fellas out, especially if you lost and trying to understand how you're going to be able to understand how you're going to be able to cope with trying to make it out here. And one of the things you have to do, you can't let nobody run your pockets. One day I learned this young. I let a person or female run my pockets one time, not multiple, one time. And I'm going to tell you how. I was taking her out and it took me at least 4 dates for me to wake up. Because you got to remember, when you young and you messing with different women, it's going to teach you how to get over other women. Hey, look, I'm not promoting you need to have a bunch of girlfriends. But I'm just saying, this is me. Younger. I already had a main girl. So at the end of the day, when you're going out, you feeling somebody, especially when you liking the way they built, the way they look, and you liking the way they smell. It's like, damn, like she right. In your mind, you thinking she right, even though on the eye test, she right. But realistically, she's not. And you find this out because I went on multiple dates, up to 4 dates. Be quite exact, yeah, 4. Took 4. Really took 2. But I wanted it too bad. And then I calmed myself down and I realized, wait a minute, what am I doing? I noticed that as this person was picking, like, yo, I wanted to go to this restaurant, you start noticing, God damn, this restaurant crazy. Then you get a restaurant that don't got no prices on the menu. You be like, oh, damn. Like, I could have went to another spot that was banging and that was popping. But you go to a spot with no food. I mean, no food. I ain't going to say no food. But the food portions are small. And people say, classy. I'm telling you, I'm living above my means. That's what I was doing. Because all these dates, and then mind you, at that time, I believe I was pushing a 750. That car note was crazy. Crazy. So my insurance is crazy. And at that time, I was like 26, 27. So I am living above my means. This is how you set yourself up to not be self-sufficient. Because then your money start losing. You're going on all these dates, got a high car note, you still got rent or mortgage, whatever kind of predicament you are in, you lose it. And people be thinking you gaining, you doing it big. No, you're not. You're fronting for everybody. Once you get over that hump, as a man to understand that, yo, you better live for you. You starting to see now on the gram, you seeing a lot of cats out here struggling. And when I say struggling, remember PPP loans was popping. Everybody was balling out of control. You notice now we got a new. I'm not saying that like the president is putting an eye on everything, but ever since he came into president, became ever since we got the new president, you're starting to see a lot of money that was being spent in different areas that was out of hand. Now, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter who you voted for. It matters where your money is going. And if you see where your money is going for government, look at where your money is going for how you spend your money when the taxes is taken out. You spend it on a bunch of bull crap. I did it. And it hurts when you can't see how much bread you got at the end of the year because you don't went through it all. You're like, yo, how did I go do this much? You don't understand. That's probably why a lot of people now be looking at millionaires like, how the hell they go broke? I would have never went broke. Yes, you would. If you made 80, 90, 100 or above, or you made under 200,000 and you sitting up there like, well, I ain't got millions. Well, guess what? You way above average. Problem is, we live in a facade now where as though everybody pushing millionaire. Now all of a sudden a million ain't considered a million. They like, y'all want to become a billionaire. Look, dog. Look. People losing sense of reality. You don't need to make 100,000 to be able to get stuff. But I make good now. But I could say this. What 60,000 used to get you before don't quite get you what it used to get you at that time. And I see now that some of those philosophies of people saying, oh, I started off and I was only making 60 or 50 something thousand. I bought this and that. It's all well and it's all good. You probably can. But today's time, I know for sure, you're going to have to be more strategic and more, you're going to have to educate yourself on where your money is going. So you'll be able to understand how you spend it. Because I'm going to be real with you. We living in a time now where as though you can't be out here balling out of control with your bread. And next thing you know, you're looking at life at, wait a minute, I can't get nothing done. You can't get nothing done because you're trying to take on other responsibilities that you shouldn't be taking. I don't care what nobody tell you. If you're making under a certain amount and you're struggling, you should not be paying for nobody. I don't care who it is. Your girlfriend, your mom. You can't. Because if you do that now, what are you going to do later on? Nothing. You're going to be broke. You look at any ball player, football players, the first thing they do, I'm going to buy my mama a house. How the hell do you buy your mother a house? Because she took care of you. It's just a job that she's supposed to do. And then all of a sudden you indebted to her because you think that's the right way. Why do you think we falling off? We falling off because we backwards. We ain't creating nothing. You got to take care of yourself first. That way you can understand how money works. Money does not work by just spending it and doing nothing with it. Because once you spend it, you can't do nothing with it. Unless you spent it on something that make you money back. That's the only way. People buying Rolexes. The biggest lie. I done seen people buy Rolexes. All type of crazy stuff and say, yeah, but I can sell it back. It's an investment. Shut up. No damn investment. You ever seen anybody buy a Rolex, sell it, and make way more bread off of it than what they spent on? Now, during the pandemic, stuff like that was happening. How often does that happen? People better stop listening to people spending reckless money up there icing stuff out, and then you finding out that the money that they done spent on stuff is obsolete. You seeing that? China done expose that. Let's be real. Anybody know any designer stuff, especially when two religions was popping, you overspend money, and then you realize the jeans that you probably bought from. No offense, I'm not trying to promote nobody. It's just, I only want to throw a store out there because I'm not promoting anything. But let's just say you want the old, you know the other name, old, and you know the other part to it, or you want the Macy, or Remember J.C. Penney? Like you went to these stores and you bought jeans that were nice, denim. They look nice, they look stylish. But the problem is, cats are actually buying stuff that is so overpriced, and then they going outside rocking these jeans, rocking these items, and we in the hood, and you sit up there like, yo, he fly. Yeah, but guess what? You ever notice everything that we kept saying is fly? Once you get to a certain age, you be like, yo, it was really lame. Don't nobody have anything. Anybody that you try to look up to that had everything in the world, it's mostly likely, not all the time, but most likely, especially if it was a dope boy, most of them locked up and dead. They had a 2-3 year run. It always seemed like a good thing to look up to people that got everything. These find out they ain't got nothing. And then the sad part about it, especially if you're in the inner city, you got anything that's popping of value. Believe me, I know this for a fact. I remember when I was 21, I had copped the Lexus GS. I had the Bubble GS. At that time, in 99, whatever, that was a popping car. Everybody did not have that car, and I was a young boy. And with my, you know what I mean, I ain't going to say my clique. I'm going to just say I had a couple friends, and we all had hot whips. I done almost been robbed. I had my car shot up. What else? I had a cat one time when I was outside with cats. I left my keys on the step. I'm the only young boy that's right there where I was at that had that silver GS. And somebody took the car keys and thought they was going to be able to jump in my whip. Paid a couple dollars, had one of the young boys go find who it was, got my keys back. Goes to show you, living a certain life is not going to grant you success and thinking that you that dude. What happens is you become a target. Don't become dumb out here to the statistics of people thinking you're supposed to live up to something. No, you're not. You better live up to actually having something in your life that you can be happy to go home to. You want to be able to be comfortable to lay your head down. All right? So my advice for any of y'all, keep your head up and be smart and strategic with your bread. Don't be dumb. Don't. I'm right here cooking. I'm making my meal. I done had my rice and vegetables, and this thing bang. I season it up, not crazy, enough. Whereas though, you know, and then after I'm done, it's digest. I'm going to watch a little bit of TV for about 15, 20 minutes, let it digest. Then I'm going to go get my workout in. And as you can see, you know what I mean? Get my workout in. I ain't lying to you. You see the, you know? Get your workout in. Take care of yourself. And that's one thing. Sometimes when you get in your relationships, you fall off. And that's what I did. I fell off and I started getting out of shape. Glad that I didn't get too out of hand. So now I'm able to bounce back and get myself back. But at the same time, do not lose yourself, fellas. You are worth more than what you think you are. No one can tell you that but you. You have to look at yourself and see what you represent. And if you represent something good and positive, especially if you have a kid or kids, whatever, you want your kids to be able to look at you and say, yo, that's my dad. My son tells me that all the time. It's no feeling better. So keep your head up, and do your thing. All right? But be smart with your money. All right?